Learn English through story. The cost of convenience. In the bustling city of Newford, there lived a man named Ethan who was known for his relentless pursuit of success. He was an executive at a thriving tech company and had spent his entire career climbing the corporate ladder. His hard work had paid off. He had a beautiful home in the suburbs, a luxury car, and a lifestyle most would envy. Yet, amidst all his material success, something crucial was missing from Ethan's life: a peace of mind. Ethan's days were a blur of meetings, deadlines, and constant connectivity. He was always on his phone, responding to emails, checking messages, and managing work crises. His personal life had become secondary to his career, and even the few moments he spent with his wife, Lily, and their young daughter, Sophie, were interrupted by the persistent demands of his job. One evening, as Ethan sat in his home office finishing a presentation for an early morning meeting, Lily walked in. She stood quietly for a moment, watching her husband's furrowed brow as he stared at the screen, fingers typing furiously. "Ethan," she said softly, "when was the last time we had dinner together as a family?" He looked up, surprised by the question. "I'm not sure," he replied, his mind already drifting back to his work. "I miss you," Lily continued, her voice filled with sadness. "We miss you. Sophie barely sees you anymore. You're here, but you're not really here." Ethan sighed, rubbing his temples. "I know, Lily. It's just this job, it's demanding. I'm doing this for us, for our future." "But at what cost?" Lily asked, her eyes welling up with tears. "Our family is falling apart, and you're too busy to even notice." Ethan wanted to argue, to tell her that it was just a phase, that things would get better once he got this promotion he was working so hard for. But deep down, he knew she was right. He had become so consumed by his career that he had lost sight of what truly mattered. That night, Ethan couldn't sleep. Lily's words echoed in his mind, gnawing at his conscience. He had achieved everything he thought he wanted, but at the expense of his family and his own happiness. Was it really worth it? The next day, Ethan arrived at the office feeling drained. As he sat at his desk, his phone buzzed with a message from his boss, Mark. "Meeting at 9 a.m. Need you to present the latest figures." Ethan glanced at the clock. It was 8:45 a.m. He had barely enough time to gather his thoughts before the meeting. As he prepared, his phone buzzed again, this time with a notification from a meditation app he had downloaded months ago but never used. "Take a moment to breathe," the notification read. Ethan hesitated, then dismissed the message. "No time for that," he muttered, focusing on his work. But as he scrolled through his notes, the words blurred, and he felt a wave of exhaustion wash over him. The meeting was a disaster. Ethan stumbled through his presentation, unable to concentrate. Mark noticed and called him out in front of the team. "Ethan, you seem distracted." "What's going on?" Ethan stammered an apology, but Mark wasn't satisfied. "I expect more from you. If you can't keep up, maybe you need to reassess your priorities." The words stung. After the meeting, Ethan returned to his office and sat in silence, the weight of his boss's disappointment heavy on his shoulders. He opened his laptop, intending to dive back into work, but found himself staring at the screen, unable to focus. In that moment, something inside him snapped. Ethan shut the laptop and grabbed his coat. He walked out of the office, ignoring the surprised looks from his colleagues. He didn't know where he was going, but he knew he needed to get away. He drove aimlessly through the city, his mind racing. The streets were crowded with people going about their lives, each person seemingly caught up in their own world. Just like him, he passed by a park where he used to take Sophie when she was a toddler. The memories flooded back, her laughter, her tiny hand in his, the way she used to look up at him with pure joy. When had he lost that connection? Ethan parked the car and sat for a while, watching families play in the park. The sight filled him with a deep sense of longing and regret. He realized he had been so focused on providing for his family that he had forgotten to be present with them. He had traded precious moments with his loved ones for the illusion of success. With a renewed sense of purpose, Ethan drove home. When he walked through the door, Lily looked up, surprised to see him so early. "Ethan, what are you doing home?" He walked over to her and shook her hand. "Lily, I'm sorry. I've been so blind. I've let my work consume me, and I've neglected you and Sophie. I don't want to lose our family." Lily's eyes softened, and she squeezed his hand. "I've missed you, Ethan." "We both have," he nodded, a lump forming in his throat. "I'm going to make things right. I don't care about the promotion anymore. I care about us, about being here, really being here." That evening, Ethan turned off his phone and left his laptop in the office. He and Lily prepared dinner together, laughing and talking like they hadn't in years. When Sophie came home from school, they sat down at the table as a family. For the first time in a long time, Ethan felt truly happy. As the weeks passed, Ethan began to reevaluate his priorities. He still worked hard, but he set boundaries, leaving the office at a reasonable hour and disconnecting from work when he was home. He spent more time with Lily and Sophie, rediscovering the joys of family life. One evening, as they sat on the porch watching the sunset, Lily turned to Ethan and smiled. "You seem different, happier." Ethan nodded, taking her hand in his. "I am. I finally realized that success isn't about how much you achieve at work, it's about the relationships you build and the moments you cherish." I was chasing the wrong dream. And in that moment, Ethan knew he had found something far more valuable than any promotion or paycheck. He had found the true meaning of success. I hope you enjoyed the story. If you enjoyed, then please like and share this video, and don't forget to subscribe our YouTube channel. Thank you for watching.